Hi, my name is Gil Robertson, president of the African American Film Critics Association. Today, we are thrilled to talk to the dynamic cast of the upcoming Hallmark Mahogany holiday film, The Holiday Stocking. We're going to kick things off by introducing you to the AAFCA members who are on the call today, starting with our facilitator, Katia Woods in Philadelphia, Aisha Muhammad in Baltimore, KB in Houston, Texas, Janita Davis, newly arrived in Denver, Reggie Pounder in Chicago, Nancy Green also in Baltimore. I'm going to get off now and let you guys continue to have a great time. I'll see you on the other side.
I see you.
When we were kids, we used to play this holiday game with riddles to solve.
The Holiday Stocking Game. It always brought us together.
A heartwarming movie.
You have not changed.
That is not true. About the power of family traditions.
When did this stocking thing start? I've never heard of it before now.
If I can get them to play, maybe they'll remember how important family really is.
These look just like the cards that Mama made.
I think this is a sign.
It's time to celebrate The Holiday Stocking on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries.
KB here with Through the Lens of Lady KB, fabulous film. My question is for Tamala and Nadine. So I feel like the true love story in this film is between Marlo and Danny. So talk a little bit about the development of that relationship off screen that led to such a layered and rich and beautiful depiction on screen.
The first day we met, I think I was coming in for, you were coming in for your makeup test and I was leaving for my hair test, and we had never met. And I mean, of course, am a huge fan of hers. I've been watching her for years. And so I came in and I just kind of was like, with every part of my being, I was like, hi. As she like luckily opened her arms and we just embraced, and it was all said in the embrace, like the mutual respect, just the giving. I mean, this woman gives and gives and gives. I had to be like, Tamala, stop giving me things. Stop giving me gifts. Stop. I mean, she's just really just a light. And so that just, I feel like that immediate connection resonated throughout the film.
Yeah, I am a big fan of Nadine's, and I've never met her before, and I've watched everything she's done. And I was like, this is about to be something. This woman right here, such elegance and kindness and sweetness. And then BJ came in and I'm like, oh, who's this Joker? Everything just melted together like a perfect mesh. And it continued throughout. I fell in love.
Absolutely.
Well, fantastic job. Thank you.
BJ.
Hi.
It's okay.
I'm Janita Davis from the Black Cape. I really love this film, and I love that we're seeing now, like you said, Black stories, Black people loving Christmas. There's some joy in it, but this story, one of the major themes is grief and estrangement. I would like to hear all three of you talk about how that you guys kept that balance as you're portraying these characters of having that joy, that Christmas joy, that Black joy, but also giving some service to the grief and the estrangement topics.
I'll start it off. First off, just working with these two, I mean, they bring it, and I can't even start saying that without feeling it all over again, because it's like seeing them again on set, or just now you're putting us back in that whole feel, that whole love feel, that whole, when we see each other, whether we've already started filming or whether we're in the scene, you could just look at at Nadine, or I could just look at Tamala and I could just be like, keep it in, keep it in. And just to touch a little bit about the grief. This story is so beautiful because who wouldn't want to get the opportunity to go back, if you've already gone ahead, to be able to go back to your loved ones and be able to see them or speak to them one more time? For me, being in that place, because I've lost some very, very close ones, family, friends. So being in that place, it was always interesting or hard to see what would come out in each scene with these two, because they give so much. And so you have to pull back. I tell people all the time, like, just do a scene and just try not to cry. Just watch any scene and just try not to cry, because each scene is so full. Each scene is so emotional. Each scene is so, it's so rich, so pure. And especially as you get closer to the holidays, you start to feel more of that, and so, I'm gonna let Nadine and Tamla take over.
And this is what he would do. This is exactly what he would do.
Oh no, I'm just
The emotions would come up. The emotions would come up, and we would be like, "Stop it! Stop it! Stop it, BJ!"
Yeah, no, I know you would. Yeah, no, it's because it's real. It's just it's a beautiful story, and it's one of those. It's one of those where you read it, and it's like everything's there on the page. All you gotta do is show up. Everything's on the page. All you gotta do is show up. And when you work with talented actors who don't just, all right, well, let's just go and let's just go get this check. Let's just go. You got people who come in there, they're really like, this is a beautiful story. Let's make something special. And it's so special to be around special people who want that type of film to be shown and to be seen, especially during the holidays. Everybody's going to be home. Everybody's going to be around their loved ones. There are going to be families who are missing, not only because of grief or death, or not only because someone's away on leave for the military, or they just couldn't get home. This is going to resonate with every single person in that room, whether, regardless of what you're going through. So, like I said, I'm sorry. I can keep talking. Tamla, Nadine, take over. I'm done. I'm not talking anymore. You guys have a good one. God bless.
No,
Sorry.
I think BJ said everything, truly. I mean, the words were just on the page, and we had a great director in Roger Bob, who was just kind of made sure that we stayed in line with what the scene was about, not only just the overall arc of the film, but what the scene was about. And again, working with amazing actors, you can just walk in and there's nothing pre-planned. You just kind of walk in and you allow it to be. And so I think we were able to create a really special story because of that, because we were just being in the moment.
I would have to agree with the two of them, being in that moment. Also, I feel that we all collectively, the entire cast, did an amazing job with letting go and just going with the flow, and being as authentic and as transparent as we could with our performances, but also linking that to our own things. We all each individually spoke about how this movie affected us in a way, or what we resonated with when we read it, so the main goal was to create a memorable Christmas movie. And while we were shooting that, I felt that we did that. I hope that we did that with the people that are viewing it, but it was about being free and letting go and allowing everyone just to be, and just soaking it all up in, and just then letting it out.
I love that. Thank you. And yeah, it was a great and effective movie. And I thought I would have a hard time with it because I recently lost my brother, but I didn't. I got through it through the film and actually felt good about it. So a really good job, you guys.
Thank you.
I feel awesome.
Hi, my name is Nancy Green with Film Critique. And I love this movie so much. It was so heartwarming and just so much fun. And while I was watching it, one of the things I thought about was how they resolved their issues rather quickly. And I wanted to know, how do you feel like this movie can help inspire people in real life situations, like with their families, for resolving these kind of issues, just how they kind of approach it and have that connection with each other versus how things sometimes happen in real life?
Well, I think between the sisters in particular, our connection was strong when we were younger, and with life, right, as we continue to grow up, we tend to lose those connections, right? Your focus gets sent somewhere else. And so the fact that these women come back together and that connection, it's like when you have a really dear friend, a family member who you haven't spoken to in months, right? And maybe in the holidays is when you kind of go, hey, what up? How's it going? That's the time where you like, it clicks right back in, right? There's not an initiation or a space of like stepping into a brand new relationship. It's reconnecting. So that reconnection, if the connection initially was really strong, the reconnection happens automatically. So I think for these two women, that was the situation. Now in other families, there might be a little bit more of a grace period where you kind of have to work through your stuff. But I think with Marlo and with Danny, they're yearning for each other. It's just the pain, because hurt people, right? It's just the pain that's blocking them from reconnecting with each other. And then luckily RJ comes in and helps that bridge to be formed, and the holiday stocking.
Yes.
Well said.
Okay, go ahead.
No. I was gonna just agree with her. That's all.
That was me. I said, well said. Go ahead, girl.
Thank you, BJ.
Get it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, everybody. Aisha Muhammad with Black People Watch. One of the issues in the movie is that one of the siblings is the main or primary caregiver of a parent, and the other siblings are lacking. This shows out so much in so many people that I know and in their lives, and people go for years without speaking after a parent or a loved one has passed because of this. What advice would you give, especially around the holidays, to families that are going through the same similar situations?
The advice is, you don't have a long time here on earth. You have a very short amount of time. It may seem like forever while you're here, but once you're gone, you're gone. And you don't need to be a person that holds a grudge or is angry about something that really doesn't matter. What matters is the support that you have, your family, and being in good standing with them. And yes, families argue and families fight, but at the end of the day, if you don't have your family, you don't have anything, So go through whatever you need to go through. Talk about it with someone outside of your family, a therapist or something, but get back on track, because you only get one group, one family, one auntie or two aunties. They're all individuals, one grandma, two grandmas, whatever. You're blessed to have the family that you have. So all those differences need to be set aside, especially during the holidays. My grandmother had a rule. We're gonna come together. There better not be no fussing, no fighting, no arguing during the holidays. You did that, you had to go and hear from her. Nobody wanted that. So let it go. Let it go and move on. Hug it out. Is it a sore? Yes, we have many of those throughout our life. Put some Band-Aid on it, keep it pushing.
Keep it pushing. There it is.
I love it. I mean, just from a personal standpoint, after doing this film, I actually had to reach out to someone that was very close to me and my family, and had to I don't know, clean it up, fix it up. But one thing that Nadine just said that stuck out to me, I needed that grace period, and actually they needed that grace period. We both needed that. And what Tamala said, I just bounced back and forth between the two. Yeah, you're not here for a long time, you're not, tomorrow's not promised to you. And so that was a relationship that in my family that I had to fix, and I didn't want to let it go any longer, especially going into the holidays, especially because we're going to be around each other, and then you see them, you see that person over there in the corner, and you just like, and I didn't want that energy, I didn't want that energy. So we came together, and there was some voice raising, but sometimes you have to get that out, some voice raising, and there was some hugging and some apologizing, more so from their stand. No, I'm playing. No. There was some apologizing from both standpoints, you know. But you had to go through it. You know, you had to go through it. We got through it, and now when I see them over the holidays, it's not that. It's, you know, it's open arms. You know, so yeah.
We all have a lot of healing to do.
Absolutely. And you know, just to jump onto what they both said, sometimes when you are in that pain space, it's so hard because you're like, but no, I did. And then he said, and then she did. And it's so easy to kind of go to the checklist of like, nope, nope, nope. And ultimately, like with anything in your life, what is the focus? Like, what is your ultimate goal? And is the goal like, you want to see your family, as BJ said, you want to see your family and not have that like eye across the room or the whispers. You want to feel like it's an open, beautiful space. And so for anyone out there, and I know I'm going through this with a family member as well, I keep reaching out. Anybody, you kind of just have to keep going. And but I know my end goal is like, I want it to be like it was, right? So anybody out there who's working through that, make sure you're focused on what your end goal is.
I think this film is going to reach a lot of families and help and heal a lot of families. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Reggie Ponder, the Real Critic out of Chicago. I want to say something about cake, but I will not. My question is really about Black joy. We talk a lot about that. We're so tired of seeing the trauma and the downtrodden times, and these Christmas movies allow us a chance to see that joy. I'd like for you guys each to speak to how proud and excited you are to see a product like this that shows the joy part of the Black experience.
I mean, this is definitely a huge blessing to be able to be the first for this mahogany and to show the joy of a working class and upper working class African-American family, to spread the joy of giving and letting that be a traditional thing that we do at Christmas. We have traditions too, you know, and it was a positive one. And I feel honestly that Christmas is for giving. It's not for receiving. And this movie is a reminder of that. You know, this is the time to give, not to sit around and say, oh, I'm gonna get this for Christmas, or I want. It's not about what you want. It's about giving back. So that's
to be completely honest, that's Tamala's stance year round. She gives.
Really?
Gives, as I said before, she does this year round. But yes, absolutely. And I think we all can connect to that time whenever in your adolescence where, you know, that transition between like, oh, this is the toy I want, this is the thing I want. And then the first time you were able to buy something for a loved one and you saw their face and you knew that you hit it, right? That's the feeling that I think Christmas is really about, that feeling of like making someone that you love happy, or even making someone that you don't know happy. Like it is the giving space. And through this tradition of the holiday stocking, I think this just really captures it in such a sweet way. And hopefully families will either create their own tradition or maybe piggyback off of this one. And we can move into this next generation, because we're living in the selfie world, right? So hopefully we can help nurture the next generation of givers.
I'll just piggyback on both of them. Tamala and Nadine said exactly what I want to say. In addition to that, one thing for me, it's so hard to shop for my mom. My mom is very picky when it comes around to the holidays. So you have to start this January 1 trying to figure out what she wants or what she needs all the way up to Christmas. When my mother found out we were doing a mahogany holiday movie for Hallmark, you ain't got to get me anything else, is all I want. She watches Hallmark all the time, so she was like, you don't have to get me anything. I was like, perfect. So each year we have to come back and do this again, so I don't have to worry about trying to get my mother something for Christmas for the next year. Yeah.
Thank you guys. I think your just your personas have that joy as well. I'm positive that you guys brought that with you. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi guys, Katya Woods with the Philadelphia Tribune and Couple Soul Show. Janita stole my thunder a little bit, so I'll expound. Is one of the things that I do think that is really great about this film and reminding us of what the true meaning of Christmas is, which is like, you know, giving back and family. Can you expound about, because I think it's a shame it took a pandemic to kind of like make us realize how important connection is and priorities and a lot of the things that we thought were important, like, you know, businesses finally closing like on Thanksgiving and not having that, you know, I need to be in line to knock somebody out for that TV that I really don't need. So talk a little bit about why, you know, just getting that prioritizing, yes, family, but also what the spirit of Christmas, which is not necessarily about, it's nice to get gifts, but that should not be our number one priority. And Tamala, you can start, please.
This movie, what I love about this movie is it has so many different levels to that. You have the spirit that is passed on, who feels that they left their family in shambles and wants to come back and give a repair, fix it. And in that, you got two sisters that are constantly at each other's throat. And what I love about that is we don't just make up really fast. I mean, we touch and we feel each other out, and then there's still that antenna up, and that's real. The movie is definitely centered on giving back and spreading joy, but it's also about love and forgiveness. And that's something that really attracted me to the story. That's something that I hope that we get across to the audience as well as giving. I hope I answered your question. But it's a magical film for me. And yeah, I hope I did.
Yes, girl, you did. It is.
Okay.
It is. I think that ultimately, exactly what Tamala said, it is just about connecting to your family. And if after this pandemic, you're exactly right. People have reacquainted themselves with what's most important. So whether it's your biological family or your adopted family, wherever you may be in the world, to kind of reach out. I hope this film helps people to see that connection is possible, even connection is possible. And you know, just as a single woman myself, portraying a single woman who's kind of lost track, luckily with my family, I haven't, but as Danny losing track with her family, she realizes she's lost track with everything else, or her romantic life. Like there's just, there are holes, and sometimes we don't know what it is. We're like, something missing, and you don't really know how to get back on track. And generally for me, it's always been when my relationship with my family is right, things just tend to grow. When your inside space is locked and loaded, like everything else kind of just grows around you. So I think that's a lot of what this film is about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on, you know, what they said, it was unfortunate that it took the pandemic to, you know, set things kind of like in that motion, because I've never used FaceTime so much in my entire life with my family members, and just, you know, wanted to just be closer to wanting to just hold them. You know, I'd hang out with, you know, my parents, and then an hour later, I'm back on the phone. I'm like, what are you all doing? Same thing we were doing when you called us an hour ago, you know, like, you know, but it's this film, especially at the end, when he has to go back. You know, he looks back, and, you know, he realizes he can't, you know, he's gone, you know, and he can't stay there with them. And so that right there just kind of resonated when you were talking about, you know, the connection, and just, you know, with Tamala and Nadine, and what they touched on. Just, you know, this is what this film is about. This is what life is about. Just holding on to your connections, and, you know, going back, reaching back, and just, you got to reach out, you know, hey, let's fix this before, you know, this continues to go on, because tomorrow's not promised to you. So yeah, And like Tamala said, I hope I answered your question.
You did, you did. Congratulations. And as we talked previously, may this be the first of many more holiday films under the Mahogany brand, because we deserve and we need joy.
Of course.
Thank you.
There we go.
Thank you.
Hey.
Hi, Nancy again. So one of the things that I really like about this movie, it's just, there's so much emotion going on. It's such a feel-good movie. And one of the last scenes of the movie, you know, they all hug and there's tears in your eyes. And I wanted to know, can you speak a bit about that kind of emotion and how, like, especially in Black families, you know, in years prior, this was something that wasn't always something that was allowed, and that issue kind of comes up a little bit in this movie as well. So BJ, start with you and go on.
First, let me just say those were real tears. Like, we all love. I can't tell you the love that was on that set between, you know, not only castmates but just, you know, you'd have some of the crew members come up to you and be like, "Thank you." You know, it's such a feel-good movie. When we hug, like that's a genuine hug from each of us. That's no, let's knock this out so we can go have grab food later on tonight because we're gonna wrap early. That's a genuine hug, and it's so beautiful to not only experience that at, you know, because that wasn't even, you know, even though that's the end part of the movie, that's not even, we didn't shoot that at the end. It's not in order. So we had this love throughout the entire process, you know? And so it just speaks volumes about not only the words on the page, but not only the way Roger directed, you know, it just speaks volumes about just the project itself and how Tamala and Nadine and every actor on the set and crew member brought this story to life, and it makes it so beautiful. So when you say it's an emotional error, or when you say it's a feel-good movie, it was amazing from start to finish. And when I say we hugged, like, it was, and then when Roger say cut, and Nadine would, don't start, and then Tamala, stop this, what are we doing? Like, it's hard to keep a dry eye in each scene that we do, because whether it's a feel-good movie, it just felt natural. It just felt pure. It felt authentic. It felt real. And you don't get that from a lot of projects that you do. I'll just say that. And so to be able to have that experience, it was amazing. And I'll stop talking and tell them. Go ahead.
Yes. So for me, it was the tears of joy, right? We do see a lot of pain attached to emotional scenes in films where Black people are depicted, but and we do see the joy as well. It's just nice to be able to be an additive energy in our medium. So it's nice to just be able to feel the feelings, allow the tears to flow, and when you hug, it really, you can feel the expression, and like, it's an exhale. It's like it was a family sibling exhale, you know? So, and I think more and more we will see, I think we've gotten to a place where the trauma, there's historical things that we need to know, but the trauma space we're transitioning out of that. And I think we want to laugh more. We want to enjoy our lives. We want to rejoice in what's happening in the space now for our culture, for our people, and for our future. So for sure, the tears of joy that's what it is for me.
The emotional part, the thing that I hope that the audience really gets is that when we started speaking about the things that were bothering us, our characters, we started to emerge and connect and feel better. And a lot of Black families, they don't talk, they hold everything in, and that's when it creates all of that mess, and then it's piled on and you forget why you were even mad in the first place. And I think that's what happened with the sisters. And I think once we do that little market run and we're walking and we're talking, and she says her little smart thing to Danny about, you should have been there for mama, you know, that was the first time she said it. So I hope that this movie shows us that if we talk about things, it releases it and we can move forward. And as far as the tears go, they were all genuine, real tears. And I'm going to tell you, it was all BJ's fault. Because people would come in there and BJ, he would do his lines and he'd be in the scene and then the lip would start tremoring and I'd be like, oh, damn. I'm about to cry too.
Stop it. It's like, why can't we just have one?
Then we all were crying. So thank you, BJ, for helping us get there without the menthol in our eyes.
I told you she's trouble. Both of them. Both of them.
Thank you. And I'm glad to hear that, because when I was watching it, I was like, no, that's real tears. That their eyes are really like, that's real. And yeah, another thing I was thinking was, this is so natural. I do love holiday movies, but sometimes you can kind of expect them to be a little like overly saccharine or kind of, and I was watching it and I was like, this is actually really, really natural. And I was looking forward to having my family see it and everything. So thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, it's Jonita Davis again, and this has been a really good session, but kind of heavy. So I have a light question for you. I want to know what your favorite holiday movie is. For each of you, what's your favorite holiday movie? And you can say why if you want.
I'm big on family films, so like it's not surprising that when I read the script, I was like, I'm in. So pretty much every year I watch a movie called The Family Stone. A lot of people don't know about it. Check it out. Oh, you know it well. Okay, I see it. I saw the lightness in your eyes. Yes, it's a great family film, and just a lot of different topics are being hit, and it's a beautiful one. And then, you know what I just rediscovered this year? That Jingle Jangle, the Black Christmas musical. And I'm a musical girl. I was a dancer for years. So like when I got reconnected to that, I was like, oh, I hadn't seen it since it first came out. So that's another one I just enjoyed. So I love a good old family connection film.
Yeah. I have two favorites that I gotta watch. Home Alone, the first one. Kevin, I was a little jerk like Kevin too. My cousins would come over for Christmas and I wanted everybody to get out of there. I just felt very ignored. So I registered with Home Alone and Die Hard. I'm just saying, Bruce Willis made a very tough guy Christmas movie that I love every year. Those are my two favorites.
Awesome. Recently I just fell in love with the holiday stocking. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yes, it's a good one. I agree.
It touches on so many different subjects
and the actors, right?
And the actors. Oh my God, the acting in this project. Oh my God, like I watch it every year going forward. Do you not understand that? Like what? No. I'm a fan of Home Alone too. Not Home Alone the second, the first one, like you said, Home Alone. That's one of my favorites. And then Jingle Jangle. Like, yeah, I don't know. It was magical. It was nice. It was just it was a really beautiful story. And I'm not too big on musicals, And so when I sat down and watched it, I was like, it was good. It sucked me in, and it sucked me in, and I became a fan, huge fan of it. Yeah.
Watch, your next film is going to be a musical. Watch.
I know.
There it is.
I can see you now, Dave.
You coming with me, both of you. You coming with me too.
Done.
I'd watch it. So, and Nadine, thank you so much. When I mentioned The Family Stone, people are like, what? So
it's such a beautiful, if you haven't seen it, anybody watching, watch that. It's a really great one. It breaks your heart and you're laughing and it's the whole thing.
I gotta check it out. I have not seen it.
It's a really good one.
Okay.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tamala, Nadine, and BJ, thank you so much for your time. This truly is going to be a holiday classic. So we'll be watching it for many, many, many years to come. On behalf of the world's largest group of Black film and TV critics, thank you for watching this edition of AAFCA Roundtables. Happy holidays and have a great day.
Holidays.
Happy holidays.
Holidays, you guys.